The car's been really great this whole day, and also the engine is performing more, let's say, normal compared to what we saw in Melbourne, where you obviously had those big D-rates. It was a bit challenging to drive. It was a bit challenging in Q3 because the wind picked up, and I think us and McLaren sort of lost a bit of speed in the straight. But the car's been really great, and it was a joy to drive.
The pace is very strong. Just didn't put the lap together at the end on the soft, so yeah, still work to do, but obviously congrats to George and all to play for tomorrow.
No, P3 is as good as we can do it for the time being. Actually pretty happy to beat both the Ferraris today because they seem pretty good the whole day, you know, so no, satisfied, good position for tomorrow. Certainly things have been better this weekend just because the track's a lot more simple from that side of things, from a power unit side of things, so everyone kind of falls in line a bit more, but we certainly seemed to get a good amount out of it at the end, and it was close, so a good lap put me in a good position.
Yeah, really pleased with the session. My team did a really great job. My engineers did a fantastic job to turn the car around, because in P1 was a tricky session with that spin, and the car generally felt great. It's just I think we're losing. I think it is on the straights. It's a lot of time to be losing. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do. We really have to push so hard at the back in Maranello to improve on power. It was something that I think we were conscious of last year, that we thought that Mercedes started earlier than us or the rest, which they did last time as well. So they've done a fantastic job, and we've got to step up. We've got to push to be able to close that gap. I think car-wise, the car feels great, and I think we can compete with them through corners. But when you're down on power, it's just the way it is.
It was reasonable. I think the step in grip from the medium to the soft was pretty big. But yeah, obviously the gap to Mercedes is pretty impressive. So some things for us to try and work on. But I think the car felt pretty good. It was a pretty decent lap. So yeah, I don't think there was too much left.
I think in the race we should be relatively a bit stronger than where we were now in qualifying. However, Mercedes seems to be still a step ahead. In qualifying, for some reason, the Mercedes power unit finds a lot of lap time. We don't quite find that amount of lap time just yet in qualifying, but in the race we are closer, so I'm still hopeful we can come back to more.
Extremely pleased with that, especially after last week. I think we found a lot more performance. I think good learning from Melbourne. Try to put everything together today, and then I felt a lot better in the car straight from the first lap. So yeah, I think it's good to feel in the mix and be in the top 10 again.
No, I mean the whole day has been a disaster pace-wise. So yeah, no grip. I honestly think that's the biggest problem. No grip, no balance. Just losing massive amounts of time in the corners, to be honest. And then of course because of that, you start triggering other little problems, but the big problem for us is just the cornering is completely out.
We showed really good pace already from pretty much lap 1 of FP1, and we were able to build on that and go forward. It was a tough session, you know, the balance was a bit on edge and difficult to put the lap together, but you know, we got there in the end and happy with P9 today.
I don't know what happened yet and why we lost half a second, but you know, I was happy with my lap. It was good. But yeah, in the end, it doesn't change. I don't think that is going to change our weekend. So yeah, I'm just happy to be not too far from Max.
On one side, a pity to miss out by that little. On the other hand, not a bad result either. We had some issues in SQ2. Didn't have any radio comms anymore to the team, so that obviously is a little bit more difficult. Being blind in the car, just managing things on my own, not getting any feedback, which didn't help, but. Yeah, otherwise quite positive.
No, not really pleased, no, for sure. We can't be pleased with that, but yeah, we are working hard, obviously, to get the car where we want it to be, and I think that was slightly better from FP1 to now. I think there are still quite a few things that we need to obviously investigate to get it better for tomorrow, but yeah, there are potential that we can get it better, so we need to try and obviously get the maximum out of it tomorrow, and hopefully get on top of our issues.
To be honest, I was actually quite happy with. We made a good set from practice to quali with setup, and honestly, it was Not a bad lap. We just struggled a little bit more here than last week. I think Melbourne really suited our car, and I think here it's not as good for us. So we need to try and do some work for tomorrow because in terms of setup, I actually felt quite happy.
Just a few problems, I think, since FP1 with our power unit, things that we are discovering for the first time. Obviously, it's a new type of track, so you reach different ranges of corners and type of things that we haven't experienced before. So yeah, I had a few problems today, unfortunately, and it feels like we were always in the back foot.
Considering it's my first time here and I did about 2 laps in P1, to be relatively close and okay, I don't think is too bad, but P15 is not really where I or the team want to be. Liam was a little bit better, but still I don't think was much more competitive. We're both out, so for sure there's things I'm going to look at myself tonight because he was a bit better, see what I can improve for tomorrow. But then we'll also look as a collective what we can do to try to make a step for the real qualifying. But yeah, a bit of main focus on the sprint race tomorrow, but also looking ahead to the qualifying in the afternoon.
It was tricky today. I didn't know the track, and that made it a bit more difficult. I think the car was not in a bad place in P1, but just couldn't do a step into the sprint quality that I wanted, and we lacked a bit of pace compared to Pierre. The car was quick. Pierre showed that we went through to Q3, so that's positive for the team, but I need to understand a bit more on my side.
It started more or less where we expected to be, fighting to get out of Q1, maybe with a perfect FP1 where I could have run, and we hit again reliability issues, and potentially maybe you can think about fighting for Q2, but for that we need a clean weekend, and so far it hasn't started that way either. So yeah, many issues from Australia carrying over here, and we need to keep getting on top of them.
We were slow, so back to the drawing board. I think tried a few things, didn't work out, so we'll figure it out.
How much do you feel the team understand this car at the moment?
I think we understand the limitations of it, but to fix it is another issue. So we're not quite sold on it at the minute, so it's tricky.
We don't have any more stock on the power unit, so yeah, any problem could be very difficult for us for the rest of the weekend. So we need to survive on reliability, and then learn as much as we can.
We're not here to fight for 19th or whatever, so a lot of things to work on, but we expected it. We didn't expect any miracles from Melbourne to China, so that's what it is.
Sadly, it was a bit of a waste of a session. We had a big issue on each lap. I think it was something to do with programming. We need to see that issue. Otherwise, quite difficult to say where we would have ended up.
It was a fuel pump issue. Unfortunately, we've been struggling in that area already for a long time. Far too long. So it is very frustrating. We haven't been able to solve it, and it's been already a lot of times that we've been with that issue.